Hey, live better, feel better, you'll make better music.
Yo, what's going on, everybody, man? This your boy Marcus Zelbo. Welcome to Healthy Music Podcast, man. And I hope all my healthy people out there doing good. And I hope that you are making great music. So this is new for me, right? I just want to start kind of doing these podcasts just to talk to you guys and, talk about different subjects and things like that. Watch some videos on some different things that I find interesting. Kind of like a reaction, but not really, just, really just trying to find a way to communicate about certain things that I'm interested in, you may be interested in, that's pertaining to music, the world, and health. So let's just jump right into it, because today we're going to be taking a look at the Korg replay. I think it's the Korg KAOSS replay. And what is this thing and who is it for? Now, I've watched a few videos and I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like it's okay, but I really don't know what the hell it is. I mean, I think it looks cool, but what does it do that the SP404 is not doing? And who is it? Like, I don't really understand. Like, it doesn't have a sequencer. It doesn't really, it's almost like a live instrument. I don't know what the hell. So let's watch a little bit of this video so we could try to get an understanding of what this thing is and what it's capable of. Let's check it out. It does look cool, though. I will say that.
How's it going? I hope you're doing very well. Today we're going to have a look at the Korg KAOSS Replay, a dynamic effects processor and stereo sampler, two of my absolute favorite things in any hardware device. Of course, what stands out when you first see this device is this large screen. This is a touch capacitive LCD screen. This is what you're going to use to trigger and modulate your effects.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The screen is what drew me in, plus the form factor, because it looks like a SP404. But the screen is what drew me in, though.
Below that, we have 16 adjustable velocity sensitive pads, which you can sample onto, resample onto, or load samples directly to via the micro SD card slot in the front. To the left and right of the pads, we have two assignable crossfaders, which you can create different crossfade groups. That's a lot of fun. You can process incoming audio over the phono input. There's an adjustable switch for high or low gain. You can also bring audio in directly over USB-C because this is a class-compliant audio interface. There's also a 1/4-inch jack for a microphone input with dedicated effects and a dedicated trim knob for adjusting the gain of your microphone. And then a headphone input, which you can assign different monitor groups to, or just monitor the main mix. The KAOSS Replay is full of useful effects. We have loads of filters, distortions, loopers, delays.
For real though, it almost feels like that's what they're kind of going for here with the effects that like to drive your music or whatever. Like if you had an MPC or something and you hooked it up to this and you was like trying to drive, that sound with effects and things like that. I mean, that's what it looks like right now.
Reverbs, and so many more useful live performance and studio effects. There's 128 available effects in the Korg KAOSS Replay. Let me show you how you can change the effects and assign them to the 12 program memory slots. Right now, I want to change slot 1 to something like a high-pass filter plus delay, even though reverb filter does sound great. Let's get some music going first, though. The amount of depth that I have on the effect will also be saved into the program memory. Press down on data entry and find your new effect.
Okay.
I love this one. It's quantized to the BPM output, which is exactly the same as my samples playback. Press program right and select the slot. That's now logged into slot 1. Here's 2. Here's 1. I can also lock in effects so that I don't have to use my finger and do other things. Really good for loopers, but let me show you with the high-pass filter and delay first. This is called touch hold. It remembers the last place I put my finger.
Now I can see DJs having a field day with this damn thing.
If I want to record a finger movement, I can hold pad motion and it will play that back. If I hold shift and press that, it will reverse the pad motion.
I mean,
Let's
it
use a
is
looper
cute,
effect to transition
but
from one lower energy part of a song that's taking place on some external gear to a higher
not
energy
really sure
part of
if
a song also
is this
taking
for me
place on
though,
some external
for
gear.
real.
I'm going to select line phono so that I turn on the input for this gear. That's using the phono input in the back. And I'm going to go into my global settings, change my clock source from internal to external MIDI, because I do have MIDI clock coming from this gear over here. Go back to the KAOSS pad and select my low pass filter looper. All right, let's use our KAOSS replay to affect some external gear. You can see the BPM output is set to external, meaning the effects are being quantized to an external MIDI signal.
I don't know, man. Like I'm really trying to understand like what would I use this for? Like I'm not really making that type of music. I don't know if that's house or whatever, but I'm not really making that type of music, so I'm not really sure. Let me see if they got something else in here. Let me see. Pull up precise seeking. What is this? Let's see what else they got in here. Hold on.
A sample over to some external hardware. All right, let's do some sampling. To get started with sampling, hold down the sample button, select the bank you want to sample onto. This is bank B, slot 2. We can select the loop length that we want, a 64 beat loop, that's really long. Let's do a 16 beat loop. You can also set it to a one shot, which will trigger with a button press and then end the recording with a second button press. It'll immediately set it as a one shot, which is a velocity sensitive sample. Quantized loops are not velocity sensitive samples. We'll get into that.
Yeah, but my question is, even if you sample, what the hell are you going to do with the sample? I mean, doesn't really seem, I mean, it doesn't have a sequencer. So, I mean, I'm not really sure.
In a second, let's get a 16 beat loop. If we change the auto trigger to 0, the sampling would begin immediately. That's because the threshold has been crossed, because the threshold is 0. We want to bring the audio threshold above 0 so that our incoming audio actually triggers the sampling. So right now, our incoming audio is not triggering the sampling, which is good. It means that we can press start and it will grab a sample. Let's just sample the music that we had playing here a moment ago. Right now we have external audio set to this group, so let's bring that crossfader up. I'm going to press the pad so it's ready for sampling, and now we can hit play.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you what I'm getting out of this, bro. I'm getting looper vibes, like, cause I'm just sitting up here thinking like, what would I do? And I think what I feel that they're you know what I mean, trying to let us know is that they're going to essentially bring in different loops and play them back in different sequences. You know what I mean? And nah, bro, like, again, I'm not saying that it's not for anybody, but I don't think that's what I was thinking. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. If SP404 over here Roland is watching this, that would be a sick looking ass SP404 with the screen. I ain't gonna even front. You know what I mean? If they came out with an SP404 that looked like this, man, that damn thing wouldn't be able to stay on the shelves.
Back immediately. Let's stop this audio. And this is just our sample. Let's have a look at our sample. Hold trigger pad edit and select the sample that you want to edit. Once you're in trigger pad edit, you can bounce around to other samples for editing. Here we can adjust the start and end point of our samples. You can either press down on the encoder and move it like this, and you can see that the start and end point are moving together. That's because they're linked. You can unlink them if you'd like, and then you can move them independently. You can also just move around your waveform here and mark in where you want the start and end point to be. So now we've changed the endpoint to kind of the middle of the sample. Here you can change the native BPM for the sample. Exclusive assign is like setting a choke group. Click on that. If we have exclusive assign set to 1 and another sample set to 1, only one sample can play.
Why didn't you just call it choke group?
Not because it's set to 1, but because it's using group 1. You can also adjust the level of your sample. 100 is the max.
And again,
volume,
bro, listen, I'm not trying to hate on the machine, all right? I'm just trying to understand what the hell Korg is really doing. I mean, where are you going with this? It would have been great if y'all would have just directly competed with the MPC-1 and the SP404. That would have been freaking awesome. I'm not really getting that from this machine. Seems like, again, this is just some type of fancy looper to me. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think.
It's by default. You can change the offset of the sample. You can also adjust the beat of the sample, but that's only if you have this disengaged. So once you have link disengaged, you can actually adjust the beat of the whole sample here. So now it's only playing 4 beats. Here's a one shot. This is a velocity sensitive sample. And it will play all the way through. If you ever just want to mute everything, Shift Gate, and that will turn off all the audio and stop everything. That's really important because as you're doing one shots, you'll be like, please stop playing. Shift Gate. Just remember that function. Now, song, what's different about song versus any of the other modes for the samples is that song just plays all the way through. It's not velocity sensitive, and then once it's done playing, it stops. Unlike loop, which will loop, song just doesn't loop. And that's really it when it comes to sample editing. It's very streamlined, it's very simple. Let me show you how to do some resampling now. Hold Shift, select Sample. This will take you into the resampling menu. So you can see it says resampling above sampling. It's the exact same idea as what we had before. You select pad from here. We're in the resampling menu, so we could resample onto a different pad if we wanted. I have a drum break over here, and I'm going to resample myself playing with some effects on the KAOSS pad onto this pad right here. So I'm going to get that pad ready for sampling and then trigger the sample. You may have noticed I let that grain shifter keep playing. I turned that sample off so that we didn't hear it playing on top of this sample because samples do automatically loop after you're finished sampling. Let's have a look at stretch and sync. This sample's playing at about 170 BPM.
I think I've seen enough. I know for a fact that they don't have any, you know what I mean? I'm looking to see if I can see if there's anything else that I care to look at here. I think I'm good. What is this though? Hold on. Let's see what this is at the end here.
Just transfer files
I'll give
over
my
USB-C
conclusion
right into the back through the USB-C port, or we can select X and Y control. Let's go ahead and save that project. Cool.
Oh, let me see.
The MIDI controller too. That's why I think the KAOSS Replay is really this awesome utilitarian device to have in any setup. You can use it standalone to play some drums and trigger samples, or you can use it as an effects processor for external gear, which is my favorite way to use it, or you can just use it as a voice processor because it has plenty of great sounding vocal effects. As I was saying, you can use it as a MIDI controller. Hold Shift and select Global to go into your Surface controller. And here we can either use the SD card reader. That way we don't have to use a micro SD card slot in the front. We can just transfer files over USB-C right into the back through the USB-C port. Or we can select X and Y control. Let's go ahead and save that project. Cool, now we're in an X and Y axis MIDI controller, and you set the MIDI settings in your global menu. Let's check out the other one. Shift, Global, Fader control. This is rad. So now we have 8 faders that we can use a touchscreen with, and we can assign MIDI CCs to all these different faders.
Okay.
Hold Shift to get out of this menu. If you want to change what the effects target, you can hold Shift and select Line Phono, and here you can actually choose where the effects target different things. You can have it target a different group, you can have it target the incoming audio, or just...
Okay, so, I mean, I've seen enough, right? I think that, I don't know, man. I just think that Korg, they really missed the mark as far as I'm concerned, tapping into that whole SP404 market. Like, there's nothing really out there that can really compare to the SP404 Mark II. And I think that Korg made a machine that looks similar to it, but that's not what they were trying to do. And if you're just trying to get the effect side of it, I'm kind of like, come on, man, like, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. You know what I mean? At $1,000, that's how much this machine costs. You can just go grab you a 404, and then with the 404, you'll be able to make beats for real and not just use the effects. I think there already are some cool effects, you know, effect modules out there, like the analog heat and some other stuff out there. So, Korg, I don't really know what y'all was thinking with this. There may be some DJs out there that find this to be awesome, you know what I mean? But coming from a producer standpoint, I personally don't really see what I would do with this. And like I said, I think it looks cool, but I got enough cool looking gear in my studio. I don't know what the hell this is for and who it's for. But if you are interested in this machine, get down in the comments and let me know what you would use this for. And if you want to buy it, you already know you can go over to Zounds and use the link in the description below. It supports the channel, and you can go buy this, man, and let us hear some music and pump some stuff out. Come join the Beat League lounge and let us see you make some music with this thing, because I would love to hear, you know what I mean, some music pumping out of it, or what you would use it to. How would you manipulate your music using this device? So listen, man, I appreciate y'all for hanging out, man. This is gonna kind of be kind of like a podcast, short podcast. I'm gonna be bringing guests on and some more people, and we're gonna be talking and showing some videos, and you know, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be just like everything else we do. But yeah, let's talk about this down in the comments, man. I would love to hear y'all take on this machine. All right, and I ain't got no problem with Korg. I love Korg products, but this one right here, not really sure where they were going with this one. So I'll holler at y'all in a minute, man. All right, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Live better, feel better, make better music. I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care. Peace.